Hey everyone, what the fork's going on? Jackie here on Fork and Joystick, where we love grubbing and gaming. I just want to start off and say thank you very much to everybody who gave me feedback on my very first game review for Gundam Versus. I wanted to take all that feedback and try again, so here I am reviewing Battle Chasers Nightwar. The story starts off with Gully, the main character, and her team looking for mana resources in an unknown area. As they're on their way, they're attacked in mid-air by people pursuing Gully for her gauntlets. These gauntlets were originally her father's, but he vanished and it was passed on to her. So they're absolutely gigantic gauntlets on her. They get into a skirmish and are blown off the ship into an unknown area. The storyline's rather decent. It progresses and grows, and they always try to throw in a slice of humor in there when they can. I especially like the graphics in the game, from the cartoon cinematic scenes all the way down to the beautifully hand drawings of the dungeons. You move from city to city, dungeon to dungeon through the world map. In the world map, you're on a track and you can follow the track either which way. While in world map view, you can loot items, and at the same time, you can fight enemies. All enemies can actually be seen on the map, so you can decide if you want to go in and fight them Leroy Jenkins style, or you can decide if you want to evade them like a little biatch. But it's up to you on how you want to play. My advice is to make sure you know where you are on the map, because it doesn't label you where you are on the map, nor does it tell you the cities that are on the map. After being in a dungeon for over an hour, after you come out, you might be a little discombobulated, so you don't know where you're at. However, you can use your right joystick to look around, but you can't go too far of a distance from where you're located. Now, if you enjoy dungeon crawling, this game is going to be really fun for you. Before you go into a dungeon, you actually get to choose what level you want to go into the dungeon at. The higher the level you choose, the higher the spoils are. So just like the world map, when you're in the dungeon, what you see is what you get with the enemies. If you see two enemies and they're coming at you, you're gonna fight two enemies. It's not like those other RPG games where if you run into one enemy, all of a sudden there's 6 of them all ganging up on you. One thing that's awesome is how the environment can play into the strategy right before a battle. So for example, I'm being chased by these two guys and I run them right past through these spikes. When we get into battle, they're already bleeding. And then for some reason they decided to throw fishing into the game. Because who doesn't want to fish in a dungeon? After you complete a dungeon, a new level unlocks for you to be able to play the dungeon again at a harder level with bigger reward. So the replayability of this is pretty high. The fighting mechanics are worth noting. The max fight is 3-on-3. The battle is turn-based, but it also depends on timing. If you look to the left of the screen, you actually see a sequence of which player is going to be going next. When it's your turn, you get to choose an action, ability, to defend, or a burst. When you choose an action, it's generally instant, right there and then. If you choose an ability attack, it prepares the attack and you can see in the sequence where you move to. Some abilities are very fast or some abilities are slow to prepare for. So depending on that, depends on where you are in the sequence. And then you have a burst attack. This burst attack can be used by one player in the party. It builds as you attack or get damaged, so use it wisely. Each character has an HP and mana bar. As you use abilities, it depletes your mana source. However, there is one caveat: overcharge. As you complete an action, you generate overcharge. With these overcharges, you actually use those towards abilities. However, overcharge is only generated during fights. The moment a fight ends, it's gone, and you have to rebuild it. Buffs and debuffs are extremely important in this game. They actually do quite a bit of damage over time. And some of your characters do more damage depending on the debuff that the enemy has. As you level up, you get more abilities and more perk points. You unlock perks at level 6. Perks basically are enhancement for your abilities and skills, such as things like more damage, more heal, higher crits, things like that. What I like is that there's 2 options you can distribute your perk points in per character, and you can redistribute these points at any time during the game. I enjoy crafting in the game also. I like the risk on being able to complete certain crafts depending on what items I have. As you can see here, I want to make a potion, but I don't want to use my only bottle that I have. So while playing with the other ingredients, I was able to get a 50% risk at making a health potion. Success! Overall, I really enjoy the game. I think it's beautifully drawn. I really like the comic book feel. The storyline and the dialogue go hand in hand well together. I really like the slice of humor that's thrown in there. The battle mechanics, the fighting, I really enjoy the strategy that's needed behind it. So overall, I'd say I would give it an 8.5. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll definitely mean a lot. Until next time, I'll see you guys again on Fork and Joystick.